down on the court, just going, oh my gosh, there's my dad up there. I got my whole team looking at him up there. This is so embarrassing because I will guarantee you that's what I would have been doing if I was at the game in her shoes. I would have been like, please, Dad, sit down. Please, Dad, sit down. You're embarrassing. And I looked down and she didn't do that at all. She concentrated on her game. Now, a good volleyball game kind of goes in this sequence. You have good serves, good digs, good sets, good hits, and good blocks. Does anybody here have a balloon in their pocket? Raise your hand. Actually, I do. Okay, good. Bring it on up here, Matt. Okay, the reason I asked if you had a balloon, this man has got the capacity to fill that balloon up with air. Go ahead, fill it up. You know, you ever wonder how your wife feels about you preaching? I went into where she keeps her hair blower at, and she had a note on her hair thing that you blow your hair dry with, and it said, "For good sermon, press button." You didn't get it, did you? Hot air. That's good. Okay. Yes, please.
Now you blow it up, Keith.
I've done expended most of my hot air. Hot air rises. Okay, go ahead and have a seat. I thought you had players, good coaches, good team. They've got a strategy. So Dennis and I sit there and we strategize about how the game's played. Now, the first thing he wants to let me know, his daughter's a better outside hitter than the other girls are on the team. That's the dad's prerogative. He started talking to me about volleyball, and he said, you know, Keith, you know what? He said, my daughter gets all the sets up in the air like that, and the whole other team can run over and they can defense where the ball's going to be hit at because the ball goes up. He said that if she gets a traveling set across like that, then that other team can be running across and she can pick that ball off and put it wherever she wants. Now, you know what the difference is between this volleyball and this balloon? One's a lot heavier and offers a lot more resistance, and it makes the game a pretty good game. I mean, I can hit a volleyball. I'm not going to do that twice. I got lucky once. I can hit a volleyball like that and it'll bounce because it has resistance and it has weight to it. And I can hit a balloon that's pretty boring, isn't it? Christian, let me tell you something. You're going to run into difficulties and problems in life because resistance is what hones you. Resistance is what hones you. And if you think that all of life is just about living on easy street and never having anything go wrong, then you know what? You're never going to be honed to achieve your maximum capability in Jesus Christ. That's why a runner will run farther than what they need to run in order to develop their stamina. You'll go farther and do more than what you ever were capable of before because you've been pressed to the very farthest. There were two objects about the same size and they both had air, but one had resistance and one didn't. One can be played with by children and the other can have thousands of people come out and watch them even on the Olympics when they play them. Nobody watches balloon tactics in the Olympics. Why? No resistance. Good blocks, resistance. I thought about verse 27 there in that first book of Corinthians. I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means when I have reached others, I myself be cast away. It's about striving to do the right thing. You know what a coach is going to tell the players? Going to tell the players, don't be sneaking smoke. Eat the right meal before you come to a game. Make sure you get a good night's sleep. Why do they tell a player that? Because they want them to achieve the very best. And if you don't take care of your body won't take care of you. If you don't take care of your body, and have very little time taking care of you. And so Paul compares Christianity to athleticism. And I thought about this. He was in shape to defend the early church. And he may have been bruised, and they may have taken his life, but he was not beaten. You know the one thing that I hate to hear a team say? It was the ref's fault. And I can sometimes say that, and if I have said it, I'm sorry. I believe in being winners, not whiners. I understand that when we go to Leopold and play, that they can take a step ladder out there, climb a net, do a fireman's carry over the top of it, and not get called. I understand that. I understand that when we play Saxony, they can go under the net, have a line violation, build a campfire, roast marshmallows, and they will not be called. I understand that. But the bottom line is this. You can be bruised. Other people can bruise you. But only you can determine if you're going to be beaten. That's life. Stephen was bruised and bloody before he died, but he was not beaten. I thought about that. She wasn't embarrassed. She was cheering her team on. She'd look up in the stands there, so she would just look up in the stands, and she was never embarrassed, and I just was amazed. I'm back over to the 56th verse of that 7th chapter of Acts. And you know, God's just talking to me Saturday morning, because my first inclination was to go and tell a couple of boys at work was, boy, you should have seen Dennis did with that game. You talk about bad. You know how we like to say things about other people so that we feel good about ourselves, which is all what's really going on. When you say bad things about other people, we just want to feel good about ourselves. God started talking to me. He just said, no, Keith, you know what? I looked down at Stephen, and that was all I see. And Stephen looked up into heaven, and he didn't see the people around him. That was all he seen. And I thought, oh, God, I get it now. I get it. I have watched this man work 60 hours a week, 70 hours a week here at work, try to somehow farm a couple of 100 acres, and still go to his daughter's ball games because he knew the sacrifice was worth the result. And I thought, oh, no wonder that was all. Everything that he had invested in his daughter because he loved her. And everything that she did out on the court was an honor to her father and her mother, which invested so much in her that she wasn't embarrassed. And I thought about Stephen. I mean, Stephen just, he's throwing rocks at me, but all I see is my father. And he's standing, Jesus is standing on the right hand of the Father. He's saying, come on up. Come on up. I've invested my life in you. Come on up. I've put everything that I have in you. Just come on up, Stephen. And I thought about how much God loves us. He invested His Son in us so that we can be winners. The world can bruise us, but will not be beaten. And folks, let me tell you something. That's love. That's love. That's love. And this morning, if you want to take time, if God leads you to take time to come forward and pray, say, God, I'm not going to let Mom beat me up. I'm not going to let Dad beat me up. I'm not going to let my mother-in-law, my father-in-law beat me up. I'm not going to let my teammates beat me up. I'm not going to let the people at school beat me up. It's about you. It's about me. God, you want to come forward and pray? God has a party waiting for you. Because it's going to be about your walk with Him. Dennis, block party. I'm so proud of him. He invested everything that he was to his family. And God invested His Son in us as we stand together. This invitation goes out. This invitation goes out. And you feel God tug on the strings of your heart. And you want to come pray. And don't be afraid. And don't be ashamed. Just run to the Father who sent His Son to run to the cross so that His will can be accomplished in your life. Let it be one. Let's come pray this morning. Fall away.